back to your mat. Today's class is balanced focus. So we're going to do a little bit of repetition just to really get into those hamstrings, the calves, just stretch through the legs. We also are going to be moving around the mat a little bit more than normally. So just make sure that around your mat that space is clear so you can move freely. And just to start, I want you to sit in a comfortable position. So whether that's legs crossed, legs out straight, whatever is comfortable for you to sit for a few minutes. Hands are resting on your thighs, maybe palms up or palms down. And from here, I want you to either look down towards the ground or even just close your eyes. So we're just going to take a moment just to connect with our breath. Let's give us a chance to arrive on our yoga mat today. So as you breathe, just notice that natural rise and fall of the chest, of the belly. With every exhale, just allow yourself just to soften a little bit more. Try not to allow yourself to slouch though, keep the form that you're in. And maybe also use this as an opportunity just to check in with the body, see what's going on. Notice any areas of tightness or stiffness. Remember, we're just not here to judge, but it's just good to check in and see what's happening. Hopefully by the end of the class, those areas feel a little bit freer. I'm just going to continue to breathe. Try and see if you can bring a little bit more quality into your breath. So as you inhale, breathe all the way down into the belly. Draw the breath up into the ribs, all the way up into the chest before you exhale, let go. Breathing deeply into the belly, the ribs, the chest. On those inhales, really try and fill every corner of your body with breath before you exhale, release. And then we're just going to invite a little bit more of balance into our breathing. So on your next exhale, I want you to count the length of the breath and then match that to your inhale. So maybe you exhaled for the count of 4, means you're going to inhale for the count of 4. Keeping that balance, but also keeping that quality of breathing in deeply into the belly first. Perfect, just 2 more breaths, keeping that balance, that quality. And then from here, you're just going to tuck your chin towards the chest, allow your head to hang nice and heavy. Make sure those shoulders aren't creeping forward. You can still keep your eyes closed. And we're just going to pendulum swing the head from one side to the other. So it's not the biggest of movements. You're just going to take your chin over to the right shoulder, all the way back to center, over to the left. So you're not lifting your head up, your head stays nice and low, nice and heavy. So we just stretch through the back of the neck, the back line of the body. We're going to do 2 each way. Lovely, last one each way. Come back to center, see if you can allow your head to fall a little bit closer towards your chest. Still make sure the shoulders are down and away from the ears. Give the upper back a little bit of a squeeze here. And as you next inhale, just slowly lift the head, look forward. So I want you to interlock your fingers, send your arms up towards the sky, reach the arms as tall as you can. Shoulders can come up towards the earlobes. Just make sure you're not flaring the rib cage here. Keep the core nice and strong. We're just going to take the hands over to the right, stretch through the left hand side. Inhale, come all the way back to the center, over to the left. And we're just going to wiggle. We're just going to come into any sort of movements we need here. So maybe that's your side stretches. Maybe you can take it more into your twist as you turn your chest from one way to the other. But just move. Doesn't really matter what your agenda is. Just move the body, wake it up. Lovely. Just one more each side, whatever that is. And then you're going to come back to center and you're going to kick your legs out in front. So have the legs straight. Have the feet in line with the hips, and I want you to pull the toes towards you. And then as you next exhale, just point the toes away. So we're just warming through the ankles, not the biggest or most exciting of things to do, but we're just getting those feet prepped ready for our balancing. Lovely. One more each way. And then I just want you to wiggle the legs, just shake them out a little bit. We're going to come into a forward fold. Now it's very early on in our practice, so maybe we're not going to get into the deepest of folds, which is fine. Just remember, don't force your body into a shape that it really doesn't want to be in. So maybe bend the legs, take the back of the knees off the floor. As you next inhale, reach the arms up and over. As you next exhale, fold from the hips, drop the hands down towards the ground, or maybe grab hold of the legs. Just make sure you've took it into a position that you can maintain for a couple of breaths, and that it's a maintainable position. So if you've noticed that your breathing's become shallow, maybe you've just took it a little bit too deep. Still think about trying to press the head away from the body. Keep pulling the toes back towards you, so stretch through the back of the legs. Squeeze the front of the hips, get those hip flexors involved. And then with the next couple of exhales, just see if you can allow the belly just to get a little bit closer towards the thighs. One more breath here. As you next inhale, walk the hands all the way up the legs. You're going to bend the legs, take your hands behind you. Hands can face wherever feels comfortable. You're just going to drop your knees from side to side, come into your windscreen wipers. We're then going to drop the knees over to the right, stack the legs on top of each other. Move the hand a little bit further away so that the shoulder's not crunched up towards the ear. As you next inhale, reach your left arm up and over. Really arch through the upper body as we come into our mermaid pose. Now from here, you're going to extend that top leg, point the toes, maybe see if you can sink a little bit deeper. Lovely. Inhale, reach the arm up, set the left foot down, left toes point out to the side. We're going to inhale, come up onto that right thigh, kick the foot slightly behind you so you come up into your fallen star variation. Push the hips forward and up, reach that top arm over your ear. And then as you next exhale, slowly lower your bum all the way down to the ground. We're going to kick that right leg out straight. And we're going to repeat that on the other side, starting from that forward fold. So feet back in line with the hips, activate the quads, pull the toes towards you. As you next inhale, circle the arms up. As you next exhale, fold down, forward fold. Remember, if the back of the knees feel a little bit tight here, bring the knees off the floor, create a little bit more space. There will be a natural roll, arching of the spine, but just make sure those shoulders aren't collapsing towards the ears. You want to find that length in the back of the neck. Use your breath, breathe into those areas of the body that feels a little bit tighter, a little bit restricted. We're just going to hold it here for 2 more breaths. Squeeze the front of the hips, keep pulling the toes back. Lovely. As you next inhale, walk the hands up the legs. We're going to bend the legs, soles of the feet to the floor, come back into your windscreen wipers. Just drop the knees from side to side. They don't have to find the floor yet. Now when you next drop your knees over to the left, I want you to stack your knees, left hand walk it away so your shoulder's not up towards your ear, reach your right arm up and over, find that side stretch from the armpit all the way down to the hip. From here, extend the right leg, point the toes, maybe see if you can increase that side stretch. As you next inhale, bring the right arm up, set the right foot down, turn the toes out to the side, press the hips up, drive the foot down into the ground, lift the hips high, reach that top arm back up and over. And then as you next exhale, set the bum all the way back down. From here, bring both the legs into the body. We're just going to kick them round to one side. We're going to come onto all fours. So we're going to wake up the spine now, cat and cow. So hands directly underneath the shoulders, knees set underneath the hips. As you next exhale, round the spine up. And as you inhale, drop the hips, pull the heart through, come into your cow. I want you to really tune this in with your own rhythm of breathing. If you're moving faster or slower than I am, it doesn't matter. But just connect it with your own breath as you move. When you come into that cat position, try not just to press your shoulders up towards the sky. You want to try and get the whole spine up towards the ceiling. And just slightly lift the chin, look forward as you come into that cow position. We're going to do 2 more rounds all the way through. Perfect. Last one. From that cow position, I want you to come back to all fours. Big toes together, knees out wide. We're going to sit all the way down into our child pose. Slide the hands a little bit further forward and then just allow the chest to relax between the arms. Press the bum back towards your feet so we're opening through the lower back. And then use your next exhale here. Allow the upper body to soften. See if your chest can sink between your arms. Forehead down to the ground, or maybe turn one cheek to the mat, whatever feels comfortable. If you want a little bit more opening down the sides of the body, press your hands into the ground, pull them back towards you. Feel that lengthening through the rib cage. Maybe you can feel that stretch increase in the armpits. Just one more breath here. And then you've got to firm your hands down into the ground. Slowly come all the way back to all fours. Come back, knees underneath hips. Spread the fingers a little bit wider. We're going to tuck the toes, take it up, come up into our down dog. As it's our first one today, I just want you to walk through the legs, so 1 foot at a time. Make sure you're firmly pressing those hands down into the ground, in particularly where the index finger and thumb meet. That just helps protect the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders. The whole time, just allow your head to drop. You're looking anywhere from your knees down towards your toes. Now we're going to find a little bit of stillness in our down dog, and we're just going to hold it here. So use your hands, really press the earth away from you. Tailbone goes up nice and high. Be mindful of your lower back here. Try not to pop the rib cage out. We don't want to take it into a back bend. So knit the ribs towards the hips. One more breath here. Then transfer a little bit more weight into the hands. Bend the knees, slowly tiptoe the feet all the way in. You're going to come to your forward fold at the top of the mat. Check, make sure the feet are hip width apart. Again, allow the head just to drop. We don't want to bring any unnecessary tension into the neck or the shoulders. Pull the arches of the feet up, get a little bit more engagement in the ankles. And the same when we're in that forward fold, I want you to squeeze the front of the hips, squeeze the creases. Try and pull the belly towards your thighs, your chest towards your shins. You can have a bend in the leg if it feels more comfortable, but we're just going to hold it here for 2 more breaths. We're going to come out of our forward fold nice and slowly. So I want you to bend your knees, press your feet down into the ground, allow the arms just to dangle. We're going to roll ourselves up 1 vertebrae at a time. Head's the last thing to lift, and when you do, just roll the shoulders down and away from your ears. Perfect. So now we're going to start our flows. So just make sure that you're at the very top of the mat, feet are still hip width apart. As you next inhale, circle the arms up and overhead. As you exhale, press your bum behind you, fold down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, press your hands into your legs, legs back into the hands, lengthen through the back. Exhale, fold down, come into your forward fold. We're going to send the right leg back, drop the knee, flatten the foot, check that front knee's in line with the ankle, then lift all the way up, come up into your low lunge. Press the hips forward, shoulders stacked on top of the hips, reach up as high as you possibly can. Squeeze your right glute, that allows us to get into the front of the right hip a little bit more. Now as you next exhale, I want you to cartwheel your hands down, knee can go past your toes as long as that feels comfortable. If you want a little bit more of a stretch in that right leg, in that back leg, you're going to tuck the toes and slightly press the knee away. Now if you do that and it's too much, you've noticed that your breaths become a little bit shallow, walk the back knee in. What I want you to do though is drive the ball of that front foot down into the ground. Imagine you're trying to pull it towards the back of the mat. Get a little bit more of that connective tissue involved. Now as you next exhale, we're going to take it back into our half monkey. We're going to come into this position a few times today, so don't force yourself into the biggest variation. Take it back, see how it feels. Slightly square the hips off, pull the toes towards you, and then again, whether the leg's bent or straight, it doesn't matter. Really think about melting the belly towards the thigh. Allow the head to drop. Now we're going to hold it here for 2 more breaths, and then we're going to move between that low lunge and our half monkey just to free some of the deeper stuff, the tissue, the ligaments up. So as you next inhale, press down into that front leg, sink. As you next exhale, straighten the front leg, pull the toes back. Awesome. 2 more times. Come forward. Take it back. 1 last time. From here, we're going to come all the way forward, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, press the head away from that back foot, become a little bit lighter on your fingertips, lift the lower belly away from that front thigh. Hold it here for a breath, and then set your hands firmly down on the ground. We're going to kick that right foot off the floor, warrior three legs. Pull the leg in towards the hip joint, and then nice and slowly, nice and controlled, lower that right leg all the way down to the ground. Come back into your forward fold. Allow the head to drop, arms to dangle. Maybe if the fingertips make it all the way down into the ground, let them be in line with the toes. We're going to hold it here for one more breath. And then again, nice and slowly, we're going to roll ourselves all the way up. Head's the last thing to lift. Roll the shoulders down and away from the ears. Lovely. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, lower. This time, left leg goes back, drop the knee, flatten the foot, come all the way up, low lunge. Really exaggerate that reach up towards the sky. Open through the sides of the body. Just make sure that front knee stays in line with the hip, that it's not collapsing in or out. Squeeze the glutes. And then as you next exhale, cartwheel the hands down, sink down into the front leg. Up to you. Maybe slide that left knee further away. Maybe where you are is perfectly fine. Try and keep that front foot flat to the floor. Drive the foot down into the ground, try and pull it back. One more breath here. And then we're going to straighten the leg, find that half monkey. Remember, we're going to come into the shape many times today. So just find that position that feels like you're getting a nice stretch without having to force it. We're going to hold it here for one more breath, and then we're going to move between those two poses. So as you next inhale, come forward, drop the hips. Exhale, take it back, straighten. Lovely. Move mindfully between the two. Try not to allow momentum to take over. You're controlling every aspect of the movement. Last one. We're going to come forward, hands either side of the front foot, lift the back knee. Come up onto your fingertips first, pull the lower belly away from the front thigh, head away from the back foot, hold it here for a breath. Set the hands down to the ground, kick the left foot off the floor, pull the left leg into the hip joint, and then slowly lower that left leg all the way down. Come back into your forward fold. Drop the head. Look between your own legs, just two more breaths here. And then final time, nice and slowly roll yourself all the way back up. Head's the last thing to lift, roll the shoulders down away from the ears. Perfect. So now we're going to start a little bit different. I want you to make sure your left foot is directly underneath your left hip. Arms can be alongside you, or maybe bring your hands to heart center. I want you to bring that right foot off the floor and just slightly pendulum swing it. So we're not swinging the leg all the way to come into an anterior tilt, but it's just slightly moving the leg backwards and forwards. Just getting used to balancing on that left foot. The left leg can be bent or straight, whatever feels comfortable. From here, hands to heart center, pull the right knee up towards the body. Now this is all in that hip flexion, so try not to sink the body forward. Shoulders on top of the hips. Bring that right leg up as high as you can. It doesn't matter if that's here. Now nice and slowly, we're going to send that right leg all the way back. Firm the hands together. Look forward as you step that right leg down, come into your high lunge. Inhale, reach your arms up. As you exhale, interlock the fingers, take the hands to the back of the head, open the elbows up nice and wide, squeeze the upper back, don't allow the rib cage to lift. Now nice and slowly drop that back knee down towards the ground. Release the toes, lift up a little bit more, squeeze your glutes. As you next inhale, release the arms up, cartwheel the hands down, sink down into that front leg. Try and pull the foot towards the back of the mat. We're then going to take it back into that half monkey. So straighten the front leg, find that position. So we're going to stay in our standard half monkey first, and then we're going to bring a little bit more strength into those hamstrings. So one more breath here. And then what I want you to do is bend the leg a little bit more than what you had it. Drive the heel down into the ground, try and pull it back. So kinetic stretch, we're working a muscle that's already under tension. Hold it here for one more breath. I want you to round the spine up, press the whole spine up towards the sky, press the fingertips into the ground. See if you can lift that left foot off the floor, even if it's a centimetre. Oh, quad strength, drop it down. Slowly come forward from here. Both hands to the inside of that front foot. So I want you to bring the left leg to the upper inside of the left arm. Again, round the spine, press the hands into the ground, try and swipe the left foot off the floor. We're then going to kick the left leg all the way out straight. Point the toes, create that length through the back of the head to the toes. We're going to tuck the right foot, straighten the leg, take it up, half monkey. Not half monkey, three-legged dog. As you next exhale, bend the leg, slowly bring the knee underneath. Again, come into that cat spine, look between the hands as you step that left foot all the way through. From here, what I want you to do is press all the weight into that left foot. We're going to kick the right foot off the floor. See if we can bring the right knee all the way through, bring your hands to heart center. Lovely. Starting and finishing off the same way that we started. As you next exhale, lower that foot down. Ooh, shake the body out. Let's see what we're like on the other side. So, feet back underneath the hips. Balance on that right leg, hands to heart center. That will help you find your center of balance. Slightly bring that left foot off the floor and just swing it. It's just a couple of centimeters. Have a little bit of a bend in that right leg. Try not to lock that right knee, even if you have got it straight. Then from here, pull the knee up towards the chest. Squeeze the front of the hip, really engage the hip flexors. As you next exhale, slowly step that left foot all the way back. See if you can land the foot nice and quiet. Come back up into your high lunge. Pull the hips forward, the hips are nice and square. Inhale, reach the arms up. Interlock the fingers, hands to the back of the head, elbows go up, out wide. Squeeze the upper back, and then nice and slowly squeeze the glutes as you lower down. Come into that low lunge. Release the toes. Inhale, reach the arms up. Circle them down, sink down into that front leg. Press the ball of the foot down into the ground. Try and pull it back. Just one more breath here. And then we're going to take it back into that half monkey. Pull the toes, lengthen through the body. Don't allow the shoulders to collapse in on this one. You're then going to come forward, bend the front leg, keep the toes off the floor. Drive the heel down into the ground, pull it back. Hold it here. One more breath, then we're going to try and work those quads. Now, I want you to straighten the front leg a little bit, round the spine. So we're creating a little bit of distance. If your foot feels like lead and it does not come off the floor, that's perfectly fine. We just need to get that brain-body connection. This side is not such a good side for me, so if it lifts up, that will be a miracle. So pull the belly button in, round the spine, look towards the foot. Can you lift it? Can you lift it? Oh, not on this side, but never mind. From here, I want you to slowly come forward, bend into that front leg. Right hand to the inside of the foot. Squeeze the top of the thigh towards the right arm. From here, round the spine, so you need to press the floor away from you. Drag the foot back, maybe stay here, or pull the foot off the floor. Kick the leg out straight, point the toes, tuck the left toes, right leg goes up, three-legged dog. As you next exhale, bend the right leg, bring the foot underneath, softly land it between. Then from here, kick the left foot off the floor. See if you can float the hands to heart center as you bring that left knee all the way through. Remember, it doesn't matter if you wobble and fall. It's just having a little bit of fun with our practice. As you exhale, lower the foot down, shake it out. Perfect. So we've got a few more things to add to our flows, but they're going to be very similar. So we're going to start with that right knee towards the chest. So try not to come into flexion of the spine here. We're just working the hip flexors. I just need to step back a little bit, otherwise I'll karate kick the conservatory, which we don't want. So you can either stay here or squeeze the quads, squeeze the glutes, kick the right leg out straight. If the foot starts falling to the floor, that's fine. Just try and fight it. We're going to bend the leg, bring it back up. Kick the leg behind us, land it, come into our high lunge. Just need to adjust my feet. Inhale, reach up. Hands to the back of the head, open the elbows wide, knit the ribs down, squeeze the bum as you drop the back knee down towards the floor, release the toes. Inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, drop the hands down, straight back, half monkey. So, find your half monkey here, 2 breaths. Then we're going to add a twist to our half monkey. So your left hand is going to stay to the outside of the leg. Bend the leg a little bit if you have to. We're going to rotate round to the right, send the right arm up. Once you're in this position, maybe see if you can straighten that front leg a little bit more, as long as it feels comfortable. As you next exhale, bend into the front leg, cartwheel the hand down. From here, we're going to take it into our Skandasana. So both hands to the inside of the front foot. We're going to lift the back knee off the floor. We're going to turn the back toes out to the side, straighten the front leg, pull the toes off the ground as we take our hand towards our right foot. From here, we're going to drop the bum down towards the ground and we're going to take it into a twist. So, left toes are pointing towards you. You can kind of bring that right foot in a little bit closer if you need to. Left hand, so opposite hand, grabs hold of the right ankle. Pull the knee elbow down towards the ground. Send the right arm up and over, stretch. Perfect. Keep pulling that left elbow down towards the ground. Reach towards your toes. It doesn't matter how far away from them you are. Now, inhale, come all the way back up. You're going to drop your right knee down to the ground, hands towards the back of the mat, turn. So you're going to bring your right knee back underneath your right hip. We're in our simple calf stretch, facing towards the back of the yoga mat. From here, what I want you to do is bring that left knee to the back of the left arm as high and as close as you possibly can. Pull the foot off the floor. From here, kick the leg back, tuck the right toe, send the left leg up, three-legged dog. As you next exhale, bend the left leg, slowly bring the foot all the way through, place it between your hands. Come light on the fingertips, pull that front belly off the front thigh, and then as you next inhale, come all the way up, high lunge. Perfect. So, from here, you're going to bring your hands to heart center. We're going to try and step into eagle legs. So if you need to shuffle in a different way, or maybe if you lose your balance and just step to the top of the mat and then come into the position, that's fine. But I want you to press all the weight into the left leg, bring the right knee in towards the chest, wrap the thigh around the leg, maybe hook the toes, sink down. Now you can either keep your hands at heart center, or you can send your arms out to the side. Wrap your left arm round your right, grab hold of your hand or your wrist, and then squeeze the legs, squeeze the arms together. One more breath here. You're going to release the arms out to the side, untangle the legs, send the right leg back, turn on the back foot, come into your Peruvian. So, both toes are facing out towards the side, lift the spine tall, arms reach away from each other. Turn the toes slightly out, so pigeon toe the feet. Inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, bend into the legs, reach the arms out, goddess legs. So point your knees behind you. Inhale, straighten, reach the arms up. Exhale, sink. Lovely. One more time. From here, straighten the front leg. Turn the front toes, right toes towards the back of the mat. Come into your warrior two. So, few variations here. You can either step towards the top of the mat, come into tree pose without using your hands, or we're going to try and get into tree pose without using our hands in our warrior two. So press your right foot down into the ground, kick the left leg forward, and then try and bring the foot into position. Now, because we're not using our hands, maybe your foot won't go quite as high up the leg as it normally would. That's fine. This is using sheer hip flexor and hip strength to get into that position. Press the leg into the foot, foot back into the leg. Lift the crown of the head nice and tall. And then as you next exhale, lower the foot down, shake through the legs. So as always with balance and work, just make sure you're having a little bit of a play with it. If balancing isn't coming easy today, that's perfectly fine. You can always try this flow another time, and then you might be able to surprise yourself. Balancing depends on so many things. If your brain's a little bit foggy, or maybe you're a bit tired, it will affect your balancing. So just have a little bit of fun with it. And we're gonna see what we're like on the other side. So from here, you're gonna balance on your right leg, bring your left knee in position. Lift the spine tall, squeeze the front of the hip. You can either stay here or kick the left leg out. Try and fight gravity. Keep that foot up nice and high. Squeeze the quads. Now bend the leg. Nice and slowly step the leg back, land, high lunge. Inhale, reach the arms up, hands to the back of the head, elbows wide. Drop the back knee down to the ground, release the toes. Arms reach up as you next exhale, sink down into that front leg. Take it back, half monkey. Hold it here for 2 breaths before we take it into that twist. So remember, nice and long in the back. Right hand is going to stay where it is. I always like to bend my leg before I come into the end position. Rotate round to the left, left arm reaches up, then see if you can straighten that front leg a little bit more. Perfect. From here, circle the hand down, sink down into that front leg. From here, what I want you to do is come into Skandasana. So both hands to the inside of the front foot, lift the back knee off the floor, turn the toes round to the left as you walk towards the back. Point the toes towards you, hold it here for a breath first, and then slowly drop the bum down towards the ground. So, opposite hand, right hand to left ankle, pull the elbow down towards the ground, reach that left arm up and over, try and reach towards your toes. Don't allow your chest to collapse down towards the ground here. We're keeping those shoulders stacked on top of each other. One more breath here. Come all the way back to center. Drop the knee down to the side, hands towards the top of the mat. Come onto that all fours position with one leg out straight, so technically not all fours. Press the right heel away from you. From here, bring the right knee off the floor, squeeze it to the back of the right arm as high and as close as you possibly can. We're then going to kick the legs straight, tuck the left toes, take it up, three-legged dog. Bend that top leg, bring the knee underneath, look between your hands, softly land it through. You're going to come up onto your fingertips, engage your core, create that length down the back of the body, and then as you next inhale, come all the way up, high lunge, sink down into that front leg. Hands to heart center, that'll help you find your balance. From here, press all the weight into that right leg, bring that left leg forward, wrap the thigh round, sink down nice and deep. Maybe reach the arms out to the side, right arm round left, come into your eagle arms as well. Squeeze the thighs, squeeze the arms together. One more breath here. And then release the arms, untangle the legs. We're going to send that left leg behind, turn the toes, come into our Peruvian. So just make sure your toes are in the same line as each other, and then slightly turn the feet out to the side. Inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, sink, press the knees behind you. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower. One more time. Nice and strong in the legs. Inhale, come up. Reach the arms out to the side. Come into that warrior two. When you're ready, tree pose without using your hands. So kick in, bring the foot into position. It's so tempting to grab hold of that foot and pull it up, but try not to. We're building strength in those hips. Press the foot and the leg together, lift the spine tall. And then as you next exhale, lower the foot down, shake it all out. So, one more flow. We're just adding a few more things to what we've already done. So when you're ready, come to the top of the mat. Bring your right knee into the chest. So you can either stay here, maybe straighten the legs, or you can grab hold of the foot on the outside, rotate the chest across the body, kick the leg out straight. One more breath wherever you are. Then you're going to bring the right knee back into your chest, Slowly step the leg back. Inhale, reach the arms up. Hands to the back of the head, slowly lower down. Lovely, release the toes, release the arms. Exhale, sink down into that front leg. Straighten the leg, come into your half monkey. So, options here. You can either stay here, maybe take it back into that twist, or grab hold of the foot on the inside of the foot. You're going to try and pick the left leg off the floor. Awesome. Slowly lower the leg down, bend into the front leg, come forward. We're going to take the back knee off the floor, hands walk all the way over to the back foot, come down into your Skandasana. Lift the spine tall, pull the toes back towards you, and then as you next exhale, drop the bum down to the ground without knocking the furniture out. Left hand to the right ankle, take it into that side stretch. Reach, keep expanding through the side of the body from the armpit all the way down towards the hip. Inhale, come all the way back up. Allow the knee to drop round to the side. Hands to the top of the mat. Right knee's underneath the shoulder. From here, kick the left foot off the floor. Left knee to the back of the left arm. Either stay here, add a little bit of a press up. Kick the left leg out straight. Tuck the right toes, lift the left leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the left foot all the way through, place it between your hands. Come up onto your fingertips, nice and light. Inhale, reach up, come up, high lunge. We're going to step into eagle leg, so however you want to get there. Cross the right thigh around the left, sink. Maybe add your eagle arm, so left arm under right. Squeeze the thighs together, squeeze the arms, lift the elbows up. Now you can either stay here or you're going to straighten that left leg slightly, take the right foot on top of the thigh, figure of four, sink back down. One more breath wherever you are. Inhale, come up, release the arms, send the right leg back, turn the toes, come into your Peruvian. Check the feet and then turn the toes out to the side. As you next inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, sink, come into your goddess. You can either stay here or lift the heels off the floor. Perfect. Lower the heels down, straighten the legs, reach up. One last time. Exhale, lower, press the knees behind you, drive the balls of the feet into the floor, lift the heels high. Exhale, lower the feet, inhale, come up. Reach the arms out, find your warrior two. Look towards the top of the mat, step that back foot in, come into your tree pose. You can either keep your hands at heart center or reach the arms up. Whatever you do, do not adjust that foot with your hands. If it means the foot's lower to the floor, that's perfectly fine. Perfect. From here, grab hold of the left wrist, pull it up. Take your left leg behind you, top of the foot to the floor. I want you to reach over to the right. Find that really nice side stretch. You're going to drop the arms alongside you. We're going to bend the legs, try and find the floor. Come into your seated pretzel position. So your left leg, foot is towards your bum, right leg's over the top. Maybe your right foot's here, depending on how open your hips are. But you're going to hug that right leg with the left arm, turn the chest, open the chest round to the right. Drop that right shoulder away from your ear, lift the spine tall. Inhale, slowly come back to center. Untangle the legs, come to all fours. From here, I want you to sit down into a kneeling position first. Fingertips to the floor, round the spine up, chin towards your chest. We're going to tuck the toes, try and lift the knees off the floor, and then straighten the legs, come into a really short down dog. Don't adjust the feet, hold it here. And then bend the legs, walk the feet all the way towards your hands, come back to your forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms up and over. Exhale, hands to heart center. Awesome work. So you may not have seen some of those poses coming, which is perfectly fine. We're going to now have no surprises. So we know exactly what's happening. So let's see what we're like on the other side. When you're ready, stand on that right leg, bring your left knee into the chest. Either stay here or kick that left leg out straight, or to come into that twist across the body, grab hold of the outside of the left foot with the right hand, rotate the chest round, kick the left leg out straight. Expand through the chest, hold it here for a breath, and then bend the leg, bring the knee back into the center, step the left leg back, land the foot. Inhale, reach the arms up, hands to the back of the head, elbows go wide. Drop the back knee down to the ground, flatten the toes, arms circle up. Exhale, drop it down, come into that low lunge, take it back, half monkey. Either stay here or rotate across the front leg, or even grab hold of the outside or inside of that right foot. You need to sit back a little bit, bring that right foot off the floor. Perfect. Wherever you are, one more breath. As you next exhale, drop the foot down, bend into the front leg, lift the back knee, walk the hands towards the back of the mat, Skandasana. Pull the toes up, lift the chest. As you next exhale, drop the bum down towards the ground. Right hand on the opposite ankle, stretch that left arm up and over. Keep pulling your right elbow down to the ground, get that side stretch. Inhale, come back to center, drop the knee to the floor, hands to the mat, at the back of the mat. From here, float the right knee off the floor, bring the right knee to the back of the arm as high and as close as you can. Either stay here, add a press up, kick the right leg back, tuck the toes, kick up, three-legged dog. We're so close, you've so got this. Bend the right leg, bring the foot all the way through, place it between your hands. Come up onto your fingertips, find that length, engage your core, and then inhale, reach up, high lunge. Press that weight into the front foot, maybe bring hands to heart center. We're going to kick the left foot off the floor, find our eagle legs. Either stay here or right arm under left, come into your eagle arms. Sink nice and deep. Other variation, figure of four. So from here, you slide your left ankle on top of your right thigh, sink a little bit deeper. One more breath wherever you are. We're going to release the legs, release the arms, step back, come into our Peruvian. Turn the toes out towards the sides, sink down, come into our goddess. Drive the balls of the feet into the ground, lift the heels high. You'll wobble, that's fine. Exhale, lower the heels, straighten the legs, reach it up. Exhale, lower, final time, lift the heels up. Awesome work. Drop the heels down, straighten the legs. Come into your warrior two. Tree pose, no hands. Press the weight into that left foot, kick that right foot in. Do not use your hands, use hip strength. Come into your tree position. Maybe stay with your hands at heart center or reach your arms up. Lovely. From here, grab hold of that right wrist. Send the left leg behind you, top of the foot to the floor. Come into that side stretch. So from here, release the arms. Bend both legs, take your bum all the way down to the ground. Come into your seated pretzel. Hug the left leg with the right arm, turn the chest. Keep that back shoulder away from the ear. We're almost done, I promise. From here, you want to untangle the legs. Take the knees behind you. From here, normal kneeling position, round the spine, fingertips to the floor, chin towards your chest. Then going to lift up, tuck the toes, lift the knees off the floor. Straighten the legs, come into that mini downward dog. Firm the hands down into the ground, allow the head just to drop. And then this time, as you next exhale, drop the knees back down to the ground. Big toes together, knees out wide. Take it all the way back down into your child pose. Allow the chest, the forehead to sink to the floor. Press the bum towards the heels. Just relax it here for 2 breaths. As you next inhale, use your hands, come all the way back up. You're going to kick your feet round to one side, have the legs bent, soles of the feet to the floor. We're going to take it into a spinal roll down. So curve the lower back, reach the arms forward, one vertebrae at a time, nice and slowly. Pull yourself all the way down to the ground. Take it to that point of where you don't have control and then just drop to the floor however you need to. But to remember, in order to build that strength and that mobility in our spine, we need to take it to that point of where we just don't quite have control and then lower down to the floor. Walk your feet a little bit closer towards the body. Just enjoy this moment of having your spine in a nice neutral position. Shoulders away from the ears, relax your face. From here, you're going to bring the soles of the feet together, allow your knees just to fall out towards the side, come into your cobbler pose. We're going to hold it here for 4 breaths. So really allow your knees to fall heavy to the floor. Let go of any gripping, any tensing that you might still have in the body. So allow the legs to fully relax here. Then you're just going to take your hands to the outside of the thighs, slowly bring your knees together. We're going to bring the knees into the chest, hug them into the body, maybe rock from side to side. If you need to come into a few little circles, do so. Just keep your knees together as you draw some circles in one direction. And then just switch, draw a few circles the other way. You're going to come back to center, forehead or chin to the mat, come into your tiny, tiny ball. And then as you next exhale, kick the legs out straight, heels on the floor. Reach your arms up and over your body. Point the toes, reach with the hands, make yourself as tall as you possibly can. Before you exhale, set your arms alongside you. Part the feet, allow the feet to fall out to the side. From here, have your eyes closed, relax your face, soften your jaw. Allow the shoulders to really fall down and away from the ears. Uncurl the fingers. Relax the hips, the legs, the feet. Keep your focus on that inhale and your exhale. Feel that support beneath you. Allow yourself to soften and sink a little bit deeper. We're just going to hold it here for 5 breaths. So 5 quality, balanced breaths as you breathe. And then after your next exhale, just invite a little bit of movement back into the body. Maybe wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Any movement that you need to, but when you're ready, you just got to roll onto one side, bring your knees in towards your chest and just hold it here for a few breaths. And there's no rush whatsoever. Maybe stay here, or to finish the class with me, come up into a seated position, however's comfortable. Lift the spine nice and tall. When you're ready, inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, lower your hands down. Lovely, 2 more times. We're going to bring the hands together all the way down to heart center. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope to see you soon. So 2,000 hours worth of yoga that I've had the 2,000 worth of okay, hang on. 2,000 hours worth of yoga, and I've got to say something. Yeah, okay. 2,000 hours worth of yoga, and it's been so amazing to teach so many beautiful people like yourselves. So thank you so much for being part of the journey, and I can't wait for the next 2,000. Wow, that's loud.